Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am. Uh, I'm Pintu Noshkar, Assistant Professor, Haldia Institute of Technology. I welcome you all to the fourth day of the Faculty Development Program on Thriving Together, Communication, Mental Wellness, and Collaborative Excellence in Higher Education, organized by School of Applied Science and Humanities, Haldia Institute of Technology, in collaboration with IQAC. Today, we are extremely honored to have Dr. Ananya Mondal with us. Dr. Ananya Mondal is an assistant professor and head of the Department of Psychology at Ashutosh College, Kolkata. She is a dedicated academic and researcher with expertise in experimental and cognitive psychology. She completed her Master of Science and PhD from University of Calcutta, where her research focused on advancing the understanding of cognitive processes and human behavior. Dr. Mondal has extensive experience as a research scholar in the hospital and healthcare sector, where she has contributed to studies exploring the interface between cognition, behavior, and psychological well being. Her academic and professional journey reflects a strong commitment to integrating research with practical applications in psychology. Her primary area of academic interest is cognitive neuropsychology, with a particular focus on understanding the relationship between brain function, cognition, and behavior. She is also skilled in psychological assessment, research methodology, lecturing, and public speaking, enabling her to effectively engage students, researchers, and professionals alike. As an educator, Dr. Mundal is committed to promoting critical thinking, scientific inquiry, and evidence based psychological practice. Today, Dr. Mundal will speak on a very significant topic, that is mental wellness in higher education. And this is going to be a very enriching and exciting session because human psychology is always a very complex thing, and we often ignore the issues like mental health and anxiety and so on. So, I now invite Dr. Ananya Mondal to take over. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. It's a huge, I mean, I'm really honored that today I get this opportunity to share some experiences with you all. So, today's topic, what I actually selected, uh, yes, thank you. So, today's topic, what I actually selected based on the mental health. It is something which we know and we are aware of, but we don't know how to experience it. Uh, Now, if you think about today's world, I mean, as we know that after this post election, there are many conflicting situations are arising. And everyone is raising their voice, whatever. I am not going in that discussion, which one is right, which one is wrong. That is not my point. My point is this is something you can see that even if we are just the onlookers, we are not even participating into it, but still we are already within that conflict. We are facing some sort of emotional unbalanced situation. Now, today my topic is all about mindfulness and emotional resilience. Okay, these two terms are really very much, it's a big terms. uh, First, I will ask everyone, whoever wants to interact. This is not like it is not like teacher-student thing. So it is like a group discussion, and I love to interact with everyone. So you also aware of all these things. So it is just only to experience it further. So that is why today I selected this topic. Now I want to ask you this question: how many of you know the term mindfulness, and what is your concept regarding mindfulness? Can anyone share something?
Can you repeat the question?
So I want to ask this, that what is mindfulness, and uh, what is your concept regarding mindfulness?
Maybe being aware of what we are doing, focusing, concentration, maybe focus,
Okay,
concentration.
so focusing and concentrating. Anything else? Mindfulness is being content and complete with oneself. Okay. Anything else?
Being aware of what we are doing,
Being aware of what we are
conscious,
doing.
consciously maybe, like being conscious when we are taking up some act, okay, some okay thinking, be conscious about what we are thinking or what we are speaking or what we are doing, maybe.
Okay. And anything else? It's on consciousness. It's okay. And anything else? Can you see the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So yes, one thing you said the right thing, that is mindfulness is all about our consciousness. Now, mindfulness. Why this is so important in today's world? Why we are, yes, full attention, right? Full attention. Now, have you seen that today? During our these kind of lifestyles, we are facing different types of pressures, right? Like academic pressures are there, emotional turmoil is there, some difficulties are there, some uncertainties are there. Yes, our thoughts and feelings, right? So, mindfulness is it's about, it is a term which we actually collected it from Buddhist culture, but it was there before as well. But in psychology we termed it as attention, as you said. Now, whenever we talk about this mindfulness, we think like it is something, a kind of a technique, like meditation technique or something. We have certain myths, right? Even we have this myth as well, that every time, whatever the negatives come in our life, we need to be very positive. Now, how many of you think that sometimes positivity is also very toxic? At what situation a positive words, a positive word can be very toxic? That is like when we are into denial that what is happening with us, and we are forcing positivity within us. Mindfulness is saying that you need not to be positive forcibly. Mindfulness is saying that accept yourself, your whatever the flaws you have, whatever the difficulties you are facing, whatever the situation is, just be mindful. Now, here comes the word mindful, and when in Buddhist culture, when they define it, they try to say that, they try to say ki it is kind of a detachment. Uh, I'm sorry, something you said. The thing you whatever is, I just, I'm sorry, I just get distracted. What I want to say, that mindfulness, according to Buddhist culture, they said ki it is a kind of a detachment from whatever the situation, whatever it is happening with your life, and your emotion, detachment of your emotion and of the situation. Now, at that time, I asked this question to my supervisor when my supervisor told about this thing. So I asked that even in psychopathology, when a person is a kind of a psycho killer, at that time they also detach emotion from whatever they are doing, like from action. So where is the difference between mindfulness and becoming a psycho killer? So she said, mindfulness, it's about bird's eye view. It's kind of when you are observing it from a distance. This detachment is not without remorse. This detachment is not without feeling. When you are already feeling it, but you are observing it from a distance, at that time, you are not only, I mean, you are being emotional, but you are seeing it cognitively. Now, what is cognition? Cognition and emotion, both of them are like twin sisters. Okay. So there is nothing, that is without emotion we can think of. Or so it is. That's why we said, that neutral photograph, a neutral emotion, this word doesn't exist. So that is why emotion is inevitable. Emotion will be there. But cognitively, when you are experiencing that emotion, that is called mindfulness. When you are labeling your emotion correctly, when you are appraising the situation correctly, that is the moment is called mindfulness. And this mindfulness, if we practice it regularly, it is not about 10 days meditation task. It is not about pranayam and yoga. It is, of course, they are there, and that training is very different, and it is something in different. Like Ramakrishna missions and all of them offer this kind of things like 10 days mindful session and all. Those are different, but we can also practice it every day. And this lecture, whatever I am delivering it today, says one lecture is not enough to be, mindful. If we practice it every day, then we can be. Like, for example, I have a lot of anxiety. Rather, I had even stage fright. Right now, Sir said that I am good at public speaking. Yes, of course. But it took 5 years for me, for that kind of speaking quality and to reduce my stage fright. Just I, what I did is I understand that what are the triggering event, and I started to observe that what are the things happening with me and what could be the consequences of it, and how can I change these consequences. So I just asked myself those questions and I answered it. It's just like, that you are sharing your feelings, you are sharing your problems with your friend, and someone is advising you. Here in mindfulness, you are not sharing it with others. Here you are sharing your feelings with yourself. So here, through mindfulness, we can be emotionally resilient. Now let's see that what is the meaning of mindfulness and what is the meaning of emotional resilience. So this is the roadmap. Today I will discuss like this way. Now let's talk about why mindfulness and resilience matters. Now I said that today is in our this uncertain world. where weather actually gets uncertain, and even our uh, everyday routine gets uncertain, because of the political scenario, you can say, because of the social scenario, you can say, because of different generations are coming, like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Millennials, all of them are there, and everyone is struggling with their own problems. So, here, as a teacher, we had to face everyone. It is not that we are only facing millennials, we are only facing Gen Z, we are only facing Gen Alpha. No, it's a mixed culture, and we are facing everyone's problem as a teacher. So that is why we must be very much attentive. And emotional balance is very important, because if we cannot keep this emotional balance, we cannot separate our personal and professional life. And whenever they will, they just get mingled, at that time we face a huge kind of pressure. So that is why this mindfulness and emotional resilience does matter. Now, this mindfulness, these three words actually define it very well. So, first is, if we can define mindfulness, then first word comes in our mind, that is present moment attention. For example, right now, all of you are listening to this lecture. Now, while you are listening, there are many kind of, many noises are there as well, right? Whenever I am also delivering this lecture, there are students, those who are actually waiting for me, like there are few teachers, they are gossiping with each other, so these noises are there. And but still, we can keep our attention for this lecture. So this is called the present moment attention, when we are acknowledging that distractors are there, but still I am trying to, trying to I'm just trying to get back my attention to this lecture. I'm getting distracted, again I'm returning to this lecture, and this returning to this lecture is very important, and that is the present moment awareness. Distraction is not kind of, something very much a bad thing, or we should not be distracted, and it cannot happen that we lead a life without any distraction, because noise, again, like stress, it is inevitable. So even if there are, suppose it is a soundproof room, still there will be some noise in our brain. Okay, something after this lecture we have to do, there are maybe certain priorities I had to check, so these are the noise already there in our head, right? So even if those are distracting us, still we are trying to give attention to this lecture. So this try is called present moment attention. Next is non-judgmental awareness, that is just what I said before, that it's kind of bird's eye view. Now, most of the time, what happened, whenever we listen to others' problem, okay, the very first moment we judge that whether this girl is very depressed, or maybe this girl cannot handle the situation very well, or maybe this girl has some childhood trauma, that's why that girl is feeling that much of anxiety. So these kind of judgments we always do whenever we listen to others, whenever we listen to others. Now the thing is, whenever we judge ourselves, whenever we listen to us, whenever we think about our present moment, our distractors, at that time, do we judge ourselves? So non-judge, even we should not criticize even us. Hmm. So at that time, if we can be non-judgmental, it means you are separating emotion from that situation. You are appraising the situation as it is. You are not taking it as personal attack. You are not judging it, or you are not thinking that yes, this criticism, whatever they had done, is not correct. I will give you example about it. For example, acha, let's give an example. Suppose you are in a meeting and you are giving certain opinions. At that time, your supervisor is criticizing you very badly, hmm? Criticizing it. Now, what will be your what will be your response pattern at that moment? Now, suppose there will be a different people and they have different kind of reactions. Now, few people will get angry that why the person is criticizing me. Some people will think, "Ki, okay, at this moment I will not take any revenge, but later on, if I get some opportunity, I will take revenge." Some people will think of why the supervisor did this criticism. Now, can you tell
Ma'am,
me?
I'm sorry to
Yes.
interrupt you. Can you please make the PPT full screen?
Okay, okay. Now is it fine?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay, okay. So the thing is, at this time, maybe the I said that three types of reaction. I said some people may get angry at that moment and may react. Some people will think of another opportunity to get that revenge. Another person or another people we may think of, like that. Uh, is that criticism is correct or not? Is there any problem with my work or not? Now, here in these three situations, first two incidents are examples of reaction. It is not an example of mindfulness, it is not an example of respond. The last one, where the person is asking whether that criticism is actually true or not, that person is actually mindful because it is your work and you have to progress. So, for that, whatever the criticisms are coming, of course, first I need to accept it. Later on, I will judge whether that criticism is constructive one or it is the destructive one. If it is destructive, I will ignore. And if it is constructive, I will definitely use that criticism to uh, perform well, right? So when we act very fast, when we act very impulsively, at that time we are reacting, we are not responding it. But when we are taking a pause and we are rethinking about the sentence of the criticism, or we are reappraising the situation, that whether that criticism is constructive one or it is the destructive one, when we are rethinking after a pause, it is called respond, and that is the intentional response. Intentional response means when you are very much conscious about the response. Now, most of the time, in case of PhD, you know that some after PhD thesis being reviewed, there is a viva voce, and at that time, some supervisor, some of the reviewers actually, come and ask us many questions, right? At that time, sometimes they give certain suggestions. Now, I can think like to defend. Okay, why they are giving me this kind of suggestions after 5 years I am doing on this, project. I am the expert one only. Why they are giving me this kind of suggestions? Now, this is what my impulsive reaction is saying. But if I want to give response, then what I can say? Yes, ma'am. I have did this, but maybe I missed it. Definitely in my next paper, but in my next publication, I will take care of it. So when I am saying this, I will take care of it. You are responding. You are not reacting to it. You are not defending. So every time, it is not necessary to defend ourselves. Every time you are not wrong, but your If you need to uh, see the situation, if you need to reappraise the situation, you must be non-judgmental. You must not think like whatever the criticism is coming, it is to attack you. It is not for that. Sometimes criticisms are important for our progress. And this mindfulness actually help us to to respond it cognitively rather than emotionally react. And this is kind of a skill. This mindfulness training is a skill. It is not a personality trait. It is not that some calm and composed people, or those who are introvert, they can be very much mindful, and others, those who are extrovert or something, they cannot be. No, it is not that kind of a thing. So we can be trained on that. So we can practice it informally, we can practice it formally as well. And it support what? Our attention, our emotional regulation, and that is what I said, emotional resilience, and our self-awareness. Okay. Next come the another word called emotional resilience. Now, emotional resilience means that it is not about, again I said, it is not about that toxic positivity. Why we are always think like it is always we need to be okay. As a teacher, can't we have kind of vulnerable moments? As a psychologist, I cannot experience depression. Of course I can experience depression, but as a psychologist I can be aware of very fast, right? So like this way, whatever, being a teacher or being a student or being a psychologist, being an expert, of course it is that emotional imbalance is always uh, it is inevitable. So every time we will face it. And it is natural. So it is not that always we need to be positive because we are teachers. We always need to give positive vibes. No, even as a mother, it is not that every day I will see. Right now, millennials are struggling a lot, right? That we will not give our emotional baggage to our children, and how to, make them understand that I am tired today. I am not in that situation, to play with them. Or I cannot even yell on them. Now, the thing is, of course, sometimes we can yell at them. Of course, sometimes we can be vulnerable. And that is why we need to accept that it is okay not to be okay. It is not mandatory that we need to be very okay and we need to be very fine. We always need to be very, smile. No, not at all. Sometimes your negative emotions are important. Excuse me just for a moment. Okay, so it is not that we need to be always okay. So, what is emotional resilience then? So, if you are saying that we need not to be positive every time, it is about the individuals when they recognize their emotional signals. Okay, I am right now very much tired. I am exhausted. So recognize it, accept it. Next, you think about your bodily sensations. What kind of physiological arousals are happening? Is there a kind of headache? Is there any kind of neck pain? Is there any kind of tightness of chest? What is the bodily sensation at that moment? Then reframe the situation. Reframe the situation means reappraise it. That, yes, some negative emotions right now I am experiencing. Yes, I need to pause. I cannot smile at this moment, and I'm okay with it. Accept it, reframe it, and then reconnect. with your values, with your support. It is not your weakness that you are asking for help. Definitely, it is not your weakness. Sometimes we are so much stuck into certain problems that we cannot get another perspective. At that moment, even if you are sharing with, your friend or your mother, maybe they are not listening to it properly, or maybe they don't have any advice or suggestion for you. But when you are saying it to them, through your verbal articulation, you are actually appraising it in your brain. And that is why when we talk to ourselves, or sometimes, when we talk to our God, and we feel kind of emotional relief, and this is called catharsis. Okay, so like for example, in a temple or in a masjid or in girja, when we are saying everything, whatever the problem I am facing, none of them are there to listen to us, but we are listening to ourselves. We are listening our verbal articulations, and at that time, we are constructing it properly. Okay, so that is why we need to reconnect. So emotional resilience means that when you are gradually returning to effective function, it is kind of bounce back. It is not saying about toxic positivity. It is not saying that forcibly you have to smile. It is not saying that you cannot yell at your child. Not at all. Even some parents even think, like, that suppose there are certain discords in our family, and sometimes it happens, like, as a partner, wife and husband is quarreling with each other, and at that moment they always try to, shut the door. They don't want to show that thing to their children. This is toxic positivity, literally. Because why don't you just tell them that yes, you can open up your feeling to your partner, and after a few moments, when you are after all after that transparency, or after that kind of negative transference, after that, when you are again reconciling your, I mean, it's kind of, you can say, like, reconciling of yourself, they had to see that, right? They have to see it, that yes, my mother and my father, they are quarreling, and again they are becoming friends, and this is what secure their relationship. They will know that yes, I can raise my voice, and even if I am raising my voice, again I can rebuild the relationship, and that is the security. That is the sense of security. But most of the time, what we do, we shut the door and we quarrel. They are listening from outside, and they are getting more insecure because they cannot see your face. Okay, so they cannot understand that how you are raising your voice. So that is why it is, transparency is the best thing, right? So even another example, when a child, like, say for example, the person child is playing in a park, and he fell down. At that moment, most of the parents said, what? Yes, I will teach this playground, that that playground cannot hurt you like this way. Okay, the child get a smile. Okay, right? Few parents will say like this, that see, you will not play in this park anymore, you will play at home. Another one, suppose the child fell down, and the parent is saying, no, no, nothing happened to you, it's okay, you are a strong boy, no, or you are a strong girl, no, don't cry. Now see, from here only, this toxic positivity starts. You are not accepting it. You are not asking them to acknowledge the fact. Rather, what we supposed to do at that moment when the child fell down, we should say, what happened to you? You get hurt because I am concerned. It's okay that you get hurt. I will definitely take care of it. But again tomorrow you can come and play. This is the way we can say it. Okay. Now I am acknowledging what? Yes, you get hurt. Yes, you fell down. And when it is okay in the sense, I mean, even if you are playing, of course, you will fall down. It's okay. But you need not to smile at that moment. You are crying, so yes, you cry at that moment. Cannot say don't cry. Strong children don't cry. Don't say that. When you are saying this, you are a strong girl. No. Now, when you are saying you're a strong girl, you are forcibly, you are saying smile. Don't acknowledge that you get hurt. Don't try to express your sadness, your that feeling of hurt. Okay, so you are not asking that person to express. And here, from this root, the emotional resilience get insecure, right? So that is why when we get adult with all of these kind of feedbacks that we need to be very strong, we cannot cry because if we cry, it is kind of a weakness. Being adult, we always try to smile, even if we are thinking that right now I need rest, right now I am exhausted, even if we are acknowledging it. So, anyways, emotional resilience is saying that emotional signals we need to think about, we need to accept. Okay. So, mindfulness helps individual observe these emotions without allowing them to control behavior automatically, and emotional resilience helps people accept what has changed, identify what remains controllable, and experiment with alternative responses. Okay. So whatever the change is coming, accept it. Then identify the controllable things. Like, okay, I will take care of it. I will give you medicine for it. The next day, again you will play here. So that is another alternative. There could be many other alternative responses, but I'm not inducing any fear. I'm not blaming the playground for this. I'm not forcibly saying that you have to smile. I am just saying that accept the change and think about alternatives. So this is called emotional resilience. Now mindfulness actually help us to develop this emotional resilience. Sorry. It is not moving. Okay. Sorry. So, how to rebuild our resilience? Any sort of event which is triggering our emotional distress. Okay. At that moment, first we need to pause. Like suppose there you know that some kind of criticism is there, or some kind of judgment you have already heard, and you know that this event can trigger kind of an argument. So at that time we
Ma'am,
said
sorry,
this.
again, you need to make it full screen.
আমি যখন এটা ফুল স্ক্রিন করছি তখন এটা আর ইয়ে হচ্ছে না, চেঞ্জ হচ্ছে না। ওকে। So first হচ্ছে whenever the triggering event is there, first we need to pause. Okay, this is called temporary avoidance. I'm not saying that we need to avoid the situation. I'm saying temporary avoidance. So we need to avoid the situation for a while. Otherwise, we will impulsively react. So Just to check our impulse, we will try to stop ourselves, from reacting to it. Then we will notice that what is happening within our body, what is happening in our psychological arousals or emotions. Am I very much angry with it? Now, even if I am angry, I'm angry for what? Is it because of the disrespect? Is it because of what I have given that, or it is because of that I am unheard? So, what is the unmet need behind this angry? Is it about the respect? Is it about the being unheard? So, what is the unmet need? I have to notice it first. Then you have to choosing, sorry, create space for flexible coping. Now, how will you cope? Now, if that criticism comes from your supervisor, so you cannot argue like you do with your partner, right? So in that case, you have to respond it it's very respectfully. So if you pause and if you notice about your unmet needs, then you can think of about your coping resources. Okay. And action becomes aligned with your values rather than your fear. Because when you will know about your coping resources, when you are very much flexible with your coping resources, you can take proper action. For example, like here, suppose your uh, supervisor said that you cannot do anything. Whatever you have done, it is very bad, and it is very much embarrassing. Now, you have to think. You can think in different way, right? Either you can think that I am very much incompetent. Maybe I cannot do it properly. Or you can think that, okay, whatever ma'am said, after a pause, if I take a pause, then I can notice that I already achieved many things. This is the one I did something wrong. Okay, so can I ask your action then that, ma'am, can you give me some specific feedback? So when I'm asking about, ma'am, can you give me some specific feedback? This is your professional growth. This is your matured response. This is not your emotional defensiveness. Okay? So it is not that you are saying, I'm incompetent, I'm worthless, I'm helpless. You are not criticizing yourself. Or you are not arguing, or you are not defending, no, whatever I have done, it's right, in that voice. This is all reactive emotions. The response what I did, ma'am, can you give me some specific feedback into it so that I can do it correctly? So here you are actually, responding it with a very firm way. Okay, and this is called a cognitive response. So here the emotion, when you are being mindful, like when you are taking a pause, when you are noticing your unmet needs, and you are choosing that what kind of coping resources you can use, like here active coping mechanism I did it, like for searching for different feedback. So this actually helped me to respond it correctly. Okay, so the emotional resilience, it doesn't mean that, suppose I have certain distractors, suppose I have certain stressors and I had to avoid those stressors, or I have to remove those stressors. No, you cannot, because stressors and even your distractions all are inevitable. So what we can do, that we can accept it, right? Sometimes you can see that you can experience that maybe you are going through a negative phase. Now, did you experience that in that negative phase, what are the things you learned? Sometimes you learn people's, you recognize certain people. You understand that whether these people are actually your real friends or not. Sometimes in that negative phase, you learn certain skills to develop yourself. So whenever a negative phase or negative emotions are coming to us, it is to rebuild ourselves. It is not to destroy us. It is up to ourselves that whether we will take it as opportunity or we will take it as threat. So if I am mindful, if I know about this temporary avoidance, if I can notice myself, then of course I can break this stress loop. Okay? I can break the recycle when I am experiencing always the negative phases. No, you are not only the person who is experiencing the negative phase. There are many people who is at that negative phase only, right? So everyone's problem is different, but everyone face this kind of problem. So that is why we need to break this loop. How to break this loop? Just being notice. We need to notice our unmet needs. Okay, for example, a student, uh, suppose before exam, the student get very much anxious. Okay, what that student is experiencing before an examination may experience a rapid breathing, negative predictions, and the urge to leave the examination hall. Now, student can interrupt this loop by noticing the body's alarming responses. Okay, and can name it. Okay, I am feeling anxiety right now. Now, I can take some slow breaths. I can breathe in and I can breathe out. So, if you can do it for a few minutes, you are taking a pause and then you are focusing on the answer. Maybe the total question paper is very difficult. Okay, so at that moment, how to reframe it? I can reframe it like this way. Okay, this question paper is very difficult, but I can take a step forward. At least I can take a step. Maybe I cannot solve all the questions in this paper, but at least I can try. So when the person is trying, interrupting the stress loop. Okay, so mindfulness does not necessarily remove the stressor. The examination still needs to be completed. However, it changes how the student relates to the stressful experience and increases the possibility of effective action. Next comes mindful breathing. Okay, now this is the stress loop I said about this mindful breathing. Now, mindful breathing means when you are sitting upright and you are relaxing your shoulder. See, when you are doing some stressful work, sometimes we are not very much aware of, but these portions get tightened. Okay, so while you are doing this mindful breathing, at that time you can relax your shoulder. You can sit upright and notice natural breathing. You don't need to do pranayama. You don't need to do kapalbhati and all. What you can do is focusing on your breathing, natural breathing, the way you breathe. Now, when at that time when you will focus on it, you will experience that mind is wandering. It will going somewhere else. It is preoccupied with different kind of thoughts. Yes, of course, those distractors will be there. Return to your breathe again. Try to return to your focus. Try to return to your breathe in and breathe out. And lengthen the breathe out session. Okay? So it will come down you. It is that mindful breathing is the time when you are taking that pause. Okay? And at this moment, you are actually, uh, you know, helping your body, helping your mind to reduce impulsiveness. You are helping your body, you are helping your mind not to react. Okay? After that, this can be also done like 3-minute breathing space. at this 3 minute, what will you do? Now, in 3 minute breathing space, at the first minute, what I will do is what is happening with me? What is the situation? Okay. And what are those unmet needs here? So 3 minute breathing space is your notice time. I said pause is your breathing situation when you are observing your natural breathing. 3 minute breathing space is something when you are acknowledging your emotions, when you are actually reappraising your situation through that breathing exercise. So, in the first minute breathing, you are noticing what is happening within you. In the second minute, you are you will feel that your distractions are coming and you are trying to get back your attention. Now, while these distractions are coming, while the mind is wandering, it is not your failure. It is not, don't think it that it is failure. It is inevitable. It will happen. There are certain neurophysiological connections. We have default mode network and task positive network for this. Okay, and this is inbuilt and it will happen. This has some survival reason as well. So it is not inevitable that you can, it is not that something that you will remove all those distractors and you will focus on the candle only. No, whenever you are distracting, just try to come back. Again, you are distracting, try to come back. You will see that with time, gradually, maybe today, whatever you are practicing, this 3 minute breathing space, and after 15 days, when you are practicing this 3 minute breathing space, you will find the frequency of coming back is increasing. Frequency of coming back is increasing, right? So, and the third minute is awareness which is expanding to your body, to your next appropriate action. So your body means, okay, my shoulder is very much tight and try to relax. Okay, my neck, this portion is very much tight, try to relax. Now 3 minutes, that is the third time, third minute. In that minute, you will try to relax your own tensed situations. So this is your primary action, and the secondary action will come after that. Since you already take a pause, you already noticed whatever had happened with you, you try to focus a lot of the time, and after that, when in the third moment, when you are relaxing yourself, your emotional uh, you know thing will reduce. Our brain has this much capacity, suppose. Okay, it has limited capacity. Now if it is filled with this much of emotion, then only this much of cognition is left, to take certain decisions. But if you can reduce this emotion to this, then you have left this much of space, cognitive space, to work on the situation. So here, in this 3 minute breathing space, do what? It reduce your anxiety, it reduce your fear, it reduce your negative emotions to this. And it is giving you kind of a space, kind of a workbench to work on the situation. Okay. And in this second minute, something happened that is called attention anchoring, that you are getting back. Whenever your mind is wandering, you are trying to get back. This attention anchoring is very important. And when this frequency will increase, your focus, your concentration will increase. Okay. Next come to another thing that is called body scan. What I said, that there are, whenever we are getting certain emotions, we had certain physiological arousals. Okay. If you know your physiological arousals well, you can label your emotions very well. So in that case, I want to share one image with you. Wait. Sorry. hope you can see it. Here you see that this is the situation actually happen while we experience different kind of emotions. Like for anger, our upper part of the body gets affected. Okay? In case of depression, our arms and especially the lower part of the body gets affected. In case of depression, disgust, you can see that it is not anger, but your gut, your chest, your upper arms, and your head gets affected. So uh, these are the bodily sensations we actually feel in case of different kind of emotions. But most of the time we are not aware of it. So that is why we cannot label it properly. Sometimes we are feeling anger, but we are naming it stress. Sometimes we are feeling disgust, but we are naming it anger. Sometimes we are feeling sadness and we are naming it disgust. So, like this way, if we know our body very well, if we experience our physiological arousal, if we are mindful about where we are getting this kind of aches, where we are getting this kind of pain, bodily sensations, that can lead to label our emotions properly. And if we can label our emotion properly, we can notice our unmet needs. Okay, so let's come to our PPT. Okay, so whenever we are um, uh, whenever we are taking a pause and we are noticing it, try to, whenever you will do this mindfulness practice or when 3 minutes breathing space, at that time try to feel that in which part of your body you are feeling that kind of pain sensations. Notice that sensations and try to relax at that moment about this unnecessary tensions. Hmm. This is another grounding technique. It is another part of mindfulness. Now, here we can do it like in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. Grounding means when we are very much heightened with negative emotions, try to make it, reduce it, try to make us come down. So, for that, we need to be very much sensory, we need to be very much aware of our sensory experiences. Okay, so that the emotional overloading can be reduced. First, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 means what? In this grounding technique, first you have to close your eyes, or suppose you are in a situation, suppose you are going to take a class, and at that moment you are feeling that I am very much angry because of some previous situations, but I have to take the class. So in that case, what I will do, first I will see 5 things. See, in 5 things, that can be the chair, that can be the table, that can be the fan. So I'm just aware of my surroundings. Next, you can feel 4 things. Okay, now feeling means my feet is touching the ground right now. Okay, I am like this, and something like, here it is. Wait a minute. Four things that you are feeling or you are touching with your, I mean, physically. Okay, so that can be like, that hand, that feet touching the floor, that clothing against the skin, the chair supporting the body, the hands resting on the lap. So, like this way, you can feel four things. Then you hear about three sounds. See, you are just you are sitting in on your chair. You are just before taking a class. You are doing this 5 4 3 2 1 grounding technique. You are try to be aware of three kind of sound. For example, there is a chalkboard sound. There is someone is playing certain music, or maybe a bird is chirping, like this way. Okay. Next, you smell something. Any two things you try to smell. Maybe it's a tea, smell of tea, or maybe it's a smell of a chalk. Whatever. Just try to smell any two. And the last one is you can taste something. Just take a sip of water. That's it. And or a sip of tea. Okay, just when you are doing it, try to focus in it. Okay. So when you are focusing like this, 5 4 3 2 1, you are reducing your heightened negative emotions. Okay. It is not that it is converting into positive one. No, it is just reduced. Okay, so your panic provoking situations will not be anymore. Okay, so you can now respond, you are not reacting anymore. Next is about cognitive reframing, what I said before as well, that while you are like, for example, I said that when your supervisor is criticizing you that you are incompetent, at that time you can cognitively reframe, right? So you can think of that, yes, ma'am said I'm incompetent, but really am I incompetent? Whatever the achievements I have done before. Okay. Um, I can remember this one, that CSC interview is there, and I was sitting just interview room is just beside me, and I'm just sitting beside that room. I can hear all those boys that they are asking questions and they are responding to it, those interviewees, and I'm just sitting beside that one. Of course my anxiety is here, and at that moment, I just did cognitive reframing. At that moment, I didn't know this much of 5 4 3 2 1 grounding or breathing exercises. But what I did, I just reframed my uh, thing. So I was anxious. I felt like, okay, I'm anxious. But I have 10 years of experience. And I was just saying this, I have 10 years of experience. I have 10 years of experience. Now, when you are saying this to you, that yes, you have 10 years of experience, it means that you can you can at least deliver that lecture. You can deliver that lecture. Okay. So maybe it could be good, it could be the bad one. But since you have that experience, means you know something. You know something. You cannot go blank. So that is the way you can cognitively reframe, by your positives, by your achievements. Okay. So, and the thing is, you know that something is uncontrollable and uncertain. That is why we feel this kind of fear and anxiety. But there are certain moments which are controllable, right? What are the things which is controllable at that moment when I was very much anxious about that interview? Controllable one is this, that I have experience, I can put effort. I have experience and I can put effort. Effort is within my control. Result is not, under my control. So I cannot think about that result. What I can think about, what is controllable, and that is your effort. So when you are reframing all those things, you are actually acknowledging that you should put effort, uh, you should give more emphasis, you should give more concentration on your controllable things rather than uncontrollable one. For example, sometimes we are very much worried about our next generation. We don't know that what kind of education we can give to our children, right? It is very much uncertain to us. But what I can give, it is about the moral values. What I can give, it is to tell them that whatever it happened, whoever am I, maybe I am the professor, maybe your father is a doctor, whatever, but you have to struggle, you have to put effort to get something. You can be a professor, you can be a businessman, whatever it is, but you have to struggle, you have to put effort. So this thing, at least we can impinge on them, if even if we don't know what is their actual future. So these kind of controllable things we can actually work on. And the last one, that is called self compassion. Okay, self compassion, whatever I said, that is mindful awareness of your achievements. Most of the time we are very much aware of our negatives, whatever the flaws we have, but we are not very much aware of our positives. The way we are acknowledging different situations, the way we are controlling different situations. Okay, so I'm so sorry. Just I'm interrupting for a minute. Acha. Anyways, so next is about common humanity. Now, most of the time we show our kindness to others, but kind self-talk is very important. Okay, kind self-talk means this is what kind of things you already achieved, what are the situations you already handled, what are the difficult situations you already sailed through. So you need to know that. Okay, so these moments, I mean, it's it is something we need to be aware of. And whatever I said, that negative phase or negative experiences are very common. It is not that only me, I am facing only it. These are the difficult moments, which is, always remember this, that if I am facing certain difficult moment, means it is the time to rebuild ourselves. Either we need to develop certain skills, or we need to think about that, you know, the way we can grow. Okay, so it is the time to rebuild. So that is why you can say that even if the situation is difficult, even if I had a fear when I just try to publish a paper. I had, because I am one of the very much anxiety prone person, so I have this perfectionist kind of attitude. So that is why whenever I publish any paper, so I always have this kind of fear of rejection. It took like 2 3 years for me, to understand that rejection is very much kind of a thing which is very it is inevitable, of course it would be done. But what you can do is communicate with different journals, at least one manageable step you can do. And it is not only one journal who is not accepting or rejecting it, it is only the one journal, there are many other journals. So fear of rejection, because of it, I am being, very much perfect about my publication and about my research paper. So this is a kind of that I am trying to control the uncontrollable one, that that journal will not reject my paper. Definitely they can do it. And why not? They will, I mean, they will not do it, because it is up to their scope of journal, it is up to their marking. So it is uncontrollable. What you can do You can communicate with different journals. You can take those criticisms and you can make your publications more flawless. So this is the way I just experience it and try to learn certain skills, to um, understand that even if it is difficult, I have to take, I mean, it is like I can take a step forward. That's it. And self compassion is, yes, I can do it. I can do it because I have done it before. I did it. So I have experience. At least I put my effort. Let's see what happened. So this is the kind self talk. Every day, 10 minutes kind self talk is very important for us. Okay. Achha. Next is here, accept what is real. In case of resilience, accept what is real, identify what is controllable, and experiment with alternative. What I said, I am doing, I am communicating with different journals. So this is my alternative response. And what is controllable? Now, if I get rejected, I will see the criticisms and I will make changes, necessary changes to that publication. So this is accept it what is real. Of course, it is real that your paper can be rejected. You are not, I mean, I am not that kind of a scientist. Even Hawkins can, Stephen Hawkins can say that my theory was wrong. So as a true researcher, I cannot say whatever I am doing, it is right. So, of course, there will be criticisms. So, this is the reality. And what is controllable, I have to identify and I have to experiment with alternative responses. And this is called emotional resilience. So, emotional resilience, it is only to come back. It is not to remove stressors, it is not to remove distractors. Okay? And stay connected with support system. So this is your daily practice plan. You can do it every day. I will share this PPT and you can see this. That 2 minutes breathing. First, the breathing exercise, that is the natural breathing when you are focusing on. Then, when you are working, focus on only a single task. Even if you have many other priorities, but do a to do list, make which one is the most prior one when a priority you have to give, and then you choose. If the task one is more important, then you focus on that only, forget about other three. Okay, so to do list is very important, and focus on the task for 20 minutes. Okay. Now, before stress, now if even if you are like feeling kind of a fear, feeling of rejection, feeling of anxiety, if it is there, 3 minutes breathing pause is very important. And evening, at evening, what I said, that 10 minutes of self reflection. Self reflection means what? That what you have done today, what are the achievements you did, and what are the things you want to change within you next day. So this reflection is important. Self to self comparison is very good rather than self to other comparison. Okay? And gratitude should be there, and that is to you only. Because be thankful to you that you already survive one day, and next day again you are fighting. So every day you are fighting. So it is kind of, be thankful to your soul, be thankful to your mind that they are asking you to keep going, right? So that is why this gratitude for yourself and reflection, self reflection, is very important. So do we have some time right now?
We are almost at the end of.
Oh, okay. So I am giving this online activity. But online activity, I just think of that, okay, it is there in the PPT. So you can practice it in your, I mean, at your home as well. So you can see that only this 2 minute activity can help you to, that pause, breathe, and choose. I mean, that pause, breathe, and, I mean, pause, notice, and choose an action. So এই জায়গাটায় কিন্তু this will help. And so these are the common barriers we face regularly. For first, we always say that we don't have enough time, ma'am, that I will do this kind of practices. At least start with 60 seconds. Again, I said take a manageable step. I'm not saying that 30 minutes you have to do mindfulness training. No, start with 60 seconds. Okay. Now, of course, whenever you will do it, your mind will wander. But the first day experience and your 15th day experience will be different. Okay. You will be more focused. You can give more concentration. Next is, of course, the first day you may feel a little bit restless. Okay, so use movement at that moment, or the grounding technique. Most of the time, we can say that those who are feeling restless when they are first time, doing this breathing exercises, we always say do this breathing exercise with a 15 minutes brisk walking. Okay, just walk in a park or at your balcony and try to focus on your breathing. Okay, I forget to practice. Of course, you can forget because of our daily, pressures. Of course, we can forget it. So it's natural. Again, you begin it. Okay, next day, again, you start with it. You don't need to be ashamed. You don't need to think that, okay, it's a failure. Try every day with 60 seconds exposure. Try every day. If you take a manageable step, definitely you can overcome your difficult situations. Okay? So, this is your key takeaway, that whatever the things happen, first, whenever you are thinking of reacting, whenever you are thinking of overthinking, try to pause. Try to notice what is happening with you. Try to breathe and then reframe it. I'm not saying ki reframe it with some forceful positive words. I'm saying yes, to acknowledge, yes, it is the difficult situation. Yes, I am tired. But okay, I can take a step. Okay, okay, I am very much tired. I am very much exhausted today. I will tell you one story. Suppose your child is demanding for 3 stories, you can say that I'm tired today. I'm exhausted. Acknowledge it. It is not necessary that you have to say there's 3 stories that day. You will say, I will say one story only. So limit. You understand your capacity. You understand your limits. When you will understand your own limits, this is your metacognitive power. So when you will know your limits, of course you will know your strengths. Okay. So for that, you can do another thing that is called to-do list. Like we do the to-do list at the morning. I just do what are the work I have to do. Even it is work at my workplace, even what are the work priorities at my home. Okay, so it is not about professional one, even the personal one. I just make a to-do list, and at night when I just go to sleep, I try to cut down those things in those tasks which I cannot fulfill. Now, why I am cutting it down? I'm cutting it down to say that, see, this is my limit in the to-do list. If 12 tasks is there, a task are there, if I can fulfill 8, then 8 is my limit. Other 4 is something which is overburdening me. So you will be aware of your limit. So to-do list and cut down at night, that what are the things you could not do. So those are the things you could not do is your limit. Next day you try to compensate it if it is your priority, it is important for you. Okay, so like this way we can be aware of or mindful about our strengths, about our limits, and we can reframe. We can think of, not to blame others, not to blame ourselves, but to reframe that whatever the situation is, I can try. At least I can try. So in that case, you will respond. You will not react. Okay. So this is it. If you have any questions, I will answer.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for this interesting session. And you have talked about so many interesting things like mindfulness, emotional resilience, toxic positivity, and different techniques also. And Now the forum is open for questions and
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening. First, I
Good
should
evening.
say it was a very good presentation, and in the process, I have learned many things. I'm a teacher teaching, and in here in our college, there is a component when we are making the assessment, internal assessment, known as learning and interaction, basically to assess the student involvement in the class. Now, when I'm going to the class, uh, sometimes I see students are grasping everything what I'm saying, giving me a look, and that look is sometimes very deceptive. Whether it's a mindfulness silence or it's a passive silence. How can I know that? Because at the end of the semester, I have to make an evaluation, and that is a subjective evaluation. We don't have a assessment sheet for that. But how do I know that when they are looking at me, how do I know that it's a mindfulness silence or it's a genuine passive silence?
Okay. Now, when it is kind of student involvement, you have to assess. Now, most of the time, what we do, see, whenever we are taking like 45 minutes or 50 minutes lecture, it is the science, neurophysiological explanation is saying that student can hold up to 20 minutes attention. Okay. They cannot hold 45 minutes attention. So in that case, sometimes we uh, you know, say something related to like, oh, you are looking at me because of this or something that is interesting to them, and it is to get their attention towards me, right? Like sometimes I crack a joke. Okay, sometimes I interact about their own, like for example, if I am teaching them about memory and I'm saying, see, you are studying psychology but you are not using it at all, and they are laughing at. So now this is the way you can draw the attention. So while you are drawing those attention, you will see how many people are responding to it. You
Okay.
ask few questions after that. Okay, so I mean after 20 minutes, or it is not very much it is very difficult to see every time that the 20 minutes happen. But the thing is, if it is a 50 minutes class, try to crack certain jokes about them only, and try to ask them few questions related to them.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I think we have another question that is in the chat box that self-perseverance and self-regions are the same concepts.
Self perseverance and
Self-regions, I guess, in the chat box. Ma'am, can you
okay,
please come
self
up with?
perseverance and self regions are the same concept. Now, perseverance means your consistency. Okay. So it is about, see, like this mindfulness training. If you are doing this breathing exercise every day, so in I there was one kind of a comic book for my child. It is called True Body, and that book is about how to form a good habit. Sorry, resilience. The thing is, self perseverance is when you are forming certain habit. Okay, so certain habit, and you know that what are the things distracting you, what are the things can trigger your negative emotions. So self perseverance is about when you are stick to your good habits, and self resilience is about that when you are uh, revert back, when you are, even if you know that you are facing certain difficulties, even if you know that you have certain anger issues, and you are trying certain techniques to uh, develop your own self. So and that will help you in self resilience. So self resilience, emotional resilience is more or less similar. And self perseverance is about the way you are practicing it daily way. Means you are consistent enough and forming a good habit in that way. Anything else?
Okay, ma'am, I have one question. That you talked about mindfulness and you also talked about toxic positivity. And you have given a very common example that the fight between the father and the mother and the child is always kept outside. Now, my question is that is it always possible to be mindful about the words and the sentences we are using? And or are you suggesting that the children should know about everything, the words and the subjects and the like?
The thing is, when you will understand, the child is observing us, the child is there and watching us, you will be mindful about your sentence constructions.
Yes, of course.
So that is what actually what I want to know. That this kind of arguments are always it is there, right? But I'm not saying that, of course, domestic violence something. I'm not agreeing with it. Definitely not.
Of course.
But I'm saying about whenever a little bit argument is happening, we must be very much mindful what you said about words about but if it is behind the doors, we will feel like, we are very much free. We don't have enough anyone to authorize or something to supervise. But if there is a child, if there is your mother-in-law, if there is your someone else is there, of course you will be very much watchful,
Yes.
mindful about your words. So that's the thing what I want to say. And they should know this negative things happen in relationships, and because of this, right now many people, many you can see all these suicide attempts, you can see all these homicides. So all of these are happening because they don't know the tolerance level. They don't understand that we must sacrifice or we must compromise somewhere to keep certain relationship values. So that is why a little bit of negatives we must know.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the answer. Is there any other question?
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. I'm Sujata from Hyderabad in engineering college. So, something about like engineering college, how the condition would be like, okay. And the problem is, I have students, even in the morning session also, I spoke to the resource person regarding this, like panic attacks, they get it. Otherwise, they become tense over just to go get on to the stage and speak for few words, they get tense over that. So, is there
Stage fright.
any, yes, practice for them, like apps or books are recommended for them, like, no, so that I can
No,
also recommend or
actually,
any kind of
there is no such books. I mean, books are there, of course. But what I can say that you can give them this breathing exercise.
breathing
Because of
exercise.
this breathing exercise and cognitive framing exercise. Okay, so
Okay.
I will share this PPT and you can check on those points, technique one, technique two, and even the grounding techniques.
Yeah.
Those are very little, it will not take enough, I mean, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes time. It will hardly take like 10 to 15 minutes. And this much of awareness is okay. And for those who have stage fright, you can ask them to practice this in front of mirror so
Yeah.
that they can understand their body sensations as well.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Uh, Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for this very interesting and enriching and also informative session. And thank you all the participants for joining. And we now conclude the session. And thank you again, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.